Gemini, this is your April 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading for the month ahead. It's Romy here. Thank you so much for taking the time to support my channel and tune in. So we're going to open up this cosmic conversation with the energy of the Wheel of Fortune. And destiny is certainly in charge this month. In fact, as we approach eclipse season, many of the changes are non-negotiable. And so there's a sense of you needing to prepare really for all outcomes. You know you're going to be stretched this month, but we also have to see things through the lens of our heart as well as what's going on within our mind. The synchronicity will be extraordinary, and in some moments through the month I feel like it's almost going to be like you're watching things in slow motion. You know, there's an incredible sense of deja vu at the same time as your reality kind of being blown wide open. And even though you may be having some doubts about what's happening or what you're feeling into or what you're being geared up to act upon, there is this sense in April of sort of no going back. Now, we open up with Mercury and Taurus squaring Pluto on the 3rd, which is a little bit of a challenging aspect, and that's just ahead of the full moon in Libra, of course, putting an emphasis around our relationships and how we're maintaining or dealing with this aspect of me versus we and ensuring that we can prioritize our peace. Now, even if you feel things are a little bit disruptive or there are some challenges or certainly some unexpected things that surface or come to light around those dates, rest assured that as we approach the 7th, we've got Venus sextile to Neptune, and there's a really kind of soothing antidote coming through here. And I think this is really the theme that's going to be playing out throughout April. It's like, here's the challenge, here's something that's going to rock your world, and yet from a place of love, from a place of intentionality, and knowing that you're being taken care of, that there is so much unseen help around you, you're going to be able to find the solutions, and you're going to be able to kind of access the calm after the storm, if you like. Now, Mars has now moved out of your sign, and I think you've been driven forward relentlessly in regards to that. 7 of Wands says, I still feel like there are challenges around me, but look, you have the strength and the wherewithal to be able to break through and break free from any restraints. In fact, nobody's going to be able to cage you this month. I would, say that there's a sense of you feeling so, in many regards, misunderstood, perhaps by the people around you, people close to you, or in some aspect of your life. And I'm going to ask you to consider and reflect on how that's been affecting you. Has it made you feel like you constantly have to try to fit in? Has it meant that you're constantly, even if you're not aware of it, subconsciously trying to seek validation? Has it meant that you've rejected yourself? You've just felt lost in your pathway? Because there's a truth that's emerging. Remember, eclipse energies and at full moon as well around relationships are going to bring things up to the surface that you need to be aware of, and what has been triggering a wound energy within you that needs to be healed around this. And then there's the question of, do I need them to understand me? What is driving that behavior? Yeah, this whole transit with Mars in your sign has taught you so much. It's been with you since August, and now as it moves into Cancer, and we're invited to reflect from an emotional perspective before we act, if our heart is really aligned with our motives, our agenda. Yeah, so we're then going to welcome Venus coming into your sign, Gemini, on the 10th of the month, and that's just ahead of a really beautiful auspicious date with the Sun conjunct Jupiter and also Venus trining Pluto. So on the 11th, the last time that happened, Sun conjunct Jupiter in Aries, was April 2011. So maybe there's a similar theme that might be playing out if you think back. But Ace of Pentacles suggests that there's a spark of something powerful. Now, it may be that you receive exciting news, something lands for you, there's an offer, there's an invitation, or there's just a feeling of knowing you're moving in the right direction. Regardless of how it lands, something will show you the upside of any situation or encounter that you have going on around that time. And remember, as Venus focuses on how we value ourselves, on our key relationships, on our financial stability, the Ace of Pentacles is giving a sense of rejuvenation, possibility. And I really think that the synchronicity that comes in with that Wheel of Fortune, albeit along with some challenges, we also know what we're made of, what we're capable of, or certainly what we're up against. But you have the capacity with this new beginning. And because we can see how far down the roots have gone, there's this sense for me of what lands or what arrives isn't particularly like out of the blue for you. Even if it comes in terms of a surprise timing, I still feel it's something that you've been thinking about, considering, hoping, wishing, waiting for a very long time. Remember that 11th house energy is illuminating what's going on with your hopes and dreams. So this is a month where you have to advocate for yourself and you have to ask for yourself, you know, what you want, and really put that out into the world. But, you know, sometimes we also have to remember that when it's our time, it's our time, and we don't necessarily get to demand to the universe when that will be. So in the interim, it's your job, and especially through this month of April, to keep planting the seeds and tending to the garden and creating the space for that magic to flow in, okay? The world suggests that something is coming to this profound point of completion. There's a celebration, a sense of culmination in what you've been working upon and setting forth, setting out, expressing into the world. And the feeling around this, you know, there's this sense of kind of wholeness coming through with both the wheel and the world that I really like, because it feels like you've gone full circle with something and that you've come home, and there's a surrendering that comes from this, right? But it feels like it's a surrender from a place of empowerment rather than a surrender from a place of victim energy that feels like you've got no choice or your back is against the wall. I see you very motivated and charged up through the course of this month. Now, the asteroid goddess Vesta is going to shift into Taurus on the 15th, and she brings this grounded quality to taking care of that sacred inner flame and the environment around you. And remember what I said, you are going to feel incredibly protective over yourself, your energy, the people that you love, the things that matter to you and what you care about. And that's important because as we approach this powerful act 2 of the new moon, the black moon solar eclipse in Aries at critical degree of 29, then again fate is calling. Now whatever was set off on that 21st of March, the first new moon, the deal is being sealed now on the 19th, and Temperance comes through with this energy of it's nice actually because I feel it brings moderation and balance. So even though typically we look at these eclipse energies and they can bring in radical, powerful shifts, major endings, major new beginnings, what we're seeing here for you is a tempered energy that helps you to maintain that sense of inner peace, inner balance, inner knowing, sacred self-empowerment. And this matters because regardless of how much you may feel like your world has been shaken or you're looking out at the brokenness of the world, and remember, there's often an interpretation of what might feel like ruin, which is an actual fact, like a clearance energy. And my guide is just giving me this really beautiful analogy of like shooting stars, right? Because everybody loves to see a shooting star. It's seen as something like wholly positive and really auspicious. And it might even herald that you might see one really significantly or symbolically this month, Gemini. However, what are they? In reality, they're meteors that are burning up as they come through the Earth's atmosphere and they're dying. Yeah, so through that destruction, that chaos, we see the beauty, we see the fated, lucky, auspicious nature of this. So again, if there are things that are playing out through the course of this month that on initial reflection feel disastrous, feel upheavaling, disruptive, chaotic. If things start to go a little haywire, and toward that second part of the month, as we also see your ruler Mercury going retrograde in Taurus, along with that energy of the solar eclipse, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, what now? And yet again, Temperance, the World, Ace of Pentacles, all of this is coming in here saying beginnings and endings. This never feels comfortable. Growth is never easy. It never arrives at the party quietly. And April is not a quiet month. There's been so much dreaming, and now there's a time for doing. Now, let me talk about the fact that ahead of these soul stories this month, my guides are bringing through unicorn energy. These seventh dimensional mythical beings are now coming in, flooding the earth with more light than ever before because our frequency is rising. And I know many of you tuning in might be like, the world is in such chaos and, we're talking unicorns, but this is more important than ever because I said to you, your reality is about to be blown wide open. And when you connect into the angelic realm, the archangels, any of the beautiful frequencies that come from this dimension, unicorns, fae energy, elementals, mermaids, they all exist. And it's where our mind is opened, our heart is opened, our awareness becomes on a completely different level, that we're able to understand the true value of how they can support and help us at a soul level. And for those of you that have had many lifetimes in Atlantis, the unicorn guides were something you worked with regularly, and so the coming home or coming back into contact and connection with your own personal unicorn guide is going to be really significant this month. I'm using 2 unicorn decks. My Sacred Soul Support is focusing on a unicorn guided soul journey. You can check that out in the comment and description box beneath. The 6 of Wands, though, this is the kind of bringing out into the open, the public nature, the recognition of something. Many of you might have been working with this energy anyway or aware of it, but be aware in the next few weeks, and as we move deeper into this year, more and more and more is going to be feeling that it's part of your day-to-day experience. And it doesn't mean it's any less magical, but there's more of a sort of groundedness to your ability to receive these things and be open to them. Yeah. And even if you're kind of finding what I'm saying hard to digest, I would invite you to take that away and see where the block or the resistance is to being able to open up to this 7th dimension and really understand what it's here to do and how it can help support you and the earth at this moment in time. Yeah, we weren't promised only success, abundance, and comfort when we came through into this lifetime, Gemini. We've been invited to step forth and to work with destruction energy and contrast and craziness so that we can birth this new world. And you're shaping it with your attitude right now. And so there's very much this sense through the month of April that you have to be open to the unexpected. You have to be prepared for all of the outcomes, for your mind to be blown, for your heart to be kind of really stretched. So as we make our way sort of past that eclipse energy, which is certainly going to be delivering something profound, and there's also this sense of victory or accomplishment that comes in with the 6 of Wands. And remember, with the hummingbird energy here, there's a need to share that. Yeah, there's a pollinating kind of quality that comes through, and so with that energy, as you bring light to the world, as you're able to connect to people or share what you know, as I always say, we heal and then we teach. This is very intrinsic to what's going to be unfolding through the month of April. And even as we come into Taurus season and we're 12th house for you, and there's that major kind of like closure and release, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but there's also a need for this kind of front and center stage and sharing and expressing and being out there. This matters at the moment. So we have a little bit of a tricky Mars squaring Chiron bump in the road, shall we say, on the 27th, and maybe feeling a little bit close to home and things feeling a little bit close to the bone in terms of what's being said or what's being experienced. And yet again, there's this more soothing antidote that comes in around the 29th as Mars and Uranus kind of come back together in a surprising sort of reconciliation or a turnaround of events. Okay, so as I said, even the challenges that come through, which feel intense and at times insurmountable, also have these beautiful workarounds. And remember, it's your job to kind of ride the waves, so to speak, through the course of this month. But you know, synchronicity and fate and fortune is coming in to be able to kind of elevate you beyond some of the struggles and the troubles that have felt like they're holding you back. But this feeling overall of just not being understood or not having people kind of necessarily where you hoped they would be, or relationships where you expected them to be, you know, can no longer hold you back. You know, there's something very different that's taking hold in your life right now, and you have to kind of honor that and follow the path. You have to keep moving and keep pushing forward for the things that are birthing into your heart space at this moment. Now, if you're new to the channel, we're going to cover the final 3 cards in our extended reading. We talk for another 25 minutes or so to give you deeper insights into the month ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just pull some clarifying cards for us just now and see the direction that we might be taking this. All the decks that I use are listed in the comment and description box underneath Gemini, okay? Now, our shadow soul journey this month is focusing on the release of sacred vows. Again, looking at the things that may be affecting us, perhaps from ancestral perspective, past lives, but also those blocks and resistance energies that are stopping you from being able to really receive what's meant for you. And that 7 of air, that 7 of swords, saying that, you know, the self-sabotage tendencies that can affect you are often deep-rooted and, you know, what's going on within the contract. So you can check that out in our comment and description box. We've got 4 of cups there as well. So we have devil energy coming through with the 7 of wands. This is the thing, you know, it's really easy to be riled or to feel provoked this month, and all of that fire energy in the first part of April is still set to kind of challenge you. Remember, Mars in Cancer now also can feel a little bit passive aggressive. We've got the Page of air coming through. We've also got the Queen of Cups with that Ace of Pentacles. I like that for you. And the 3 of Cups, beautiful. World energy coming through with the Lovers, which is your card, Gemini. I love to see that. Again, showing me that even where there has been challenge, there's this kind of balancing out, but also perhaps some important choices and decisions that need to be made. We've got Temperance coming through again here. Remember, Temperance also bringing in beautiful sense of divine healing to a situation. So if there has been words spoken or things that have unfolded that have felt really difficult, 8 of Cups, 10 of Cups, there's a lot that can get aired and healed and cleared. Look, you've got another Wheel of Fortune coming in here. That's 6 of Wands. Not a surprise really in this eclipse season. 9 of Wands. Again, you know, we talked about the shooting stars, and we can see her like holding the stars, but they're burning up here as well. So again, that sort of analogy that came through just feels like really poignant for you this month. Yeah. I love the laughing Buddha here. It's just bringing some real joy through, and I think along with that unicorn energy as well, there is just so much to feel into the lightness of in terms of what is transforming around the energy, no matter how heavy it feels externally. Okay, this is Life So Vision, my oracle deck. Let's take a look and see how it wants to clarify our reading. And again, you can find all the details of my deck over on my website. So we have Honesty at the Edge of Quiet coming through. We have Spirals of Love and Grief. We have Soothe Your Soul, beautiful Sanctuary. The Wishing Tree, beautiful. Another Queen of Water coming up for you. Intuition is so strong this month. Enlightened in the Exhale. It may be that, you know, you just are really struggling for people to necessarily see where you're coming from this month, but that's okay. You just need to keep trusting in how you're being invited to move through this month. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and pull a couple of cards that will be connected to a personal question. So put some focus on that for me just now, if it hasn't immediately shown itself in the main reading, which is general. And we'll cover that in our extended. Okay, now let's have a look at these Oracle Unicorn decks. What is our first message for Gemini for April? Freedom, beautiful. Live wild and free. Choose your freedom, claim your independence. I love that. What else do we have? Okay, this is Diana Cooper's Oracle deck. Remember, you can check out the guided soul journey that I've created for you. These are tools to support you over and above the soul stories. So it's a 30-minute meditation guided to music, and we'll explore meeting unicorn guides and accessing that 7th dimensional realm. Enter the magic, live in the now, seize the moment. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in, Gemini. I'm going to wish you a beautiful month of April. If you're joining me for the extended, I will see you there. You take care, and we will catch up again next time. You'll also see that my new book, Moon Musings, is now out, and this is a curated collection of all of the astrological and soul musings that I've shared out in the collective over the last few years. You can check this out over on my website. It'll also be on Amazon in April with a digital and audio version too. So thank you for supporting me if you pre-ordered. Can't wait to get your feedback, and I hope it'll enjoy supporting you on your soul journey through inspiration and healing. Thank you.